Hi guys and welcome to Provision Week 28, and we start with the lunchtime kick-off tomorrow, 12:30, Leicester versus Stoke. A bit of a derby, this kind of game, not too much of one, but both teams will be up for it. It's going to be a bit of a lively game. I think it's going to be one of them games that are stuck in midfield. Two teams, as I say, they're going to be a bit cautious, going hook and blazing out, in these kind of games. But it's at home. I think Leicester's going to be too strong for Stoke. Even though I think Stoke will put up a bit of a fight, but I think Leicester will be too strong for them. So I'm going to go Leicester 2, Stoke 1. Now we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and we have West Brom versus Huddersfield. Again, two teams that only need 3 points really. West Brom haven't really got their season going this year. Huddersfield, they started off great, but they seem to have dipped in form, and they find themselves right down the bottom now of the table. So they really need to start, getting their act together as well. Before it's too little, too late. And I think that Huddersfield are going to. I know it's at the Albion, but I think that Huddersfield are going to be far too strong for West Bromwich Albion as well. I say far too strong, but I think they'll be the stronger side at the two. So I'm going to go again for Huddersfield to nick it. I'm going to go West Bromwich Albion 1, Huddersfield 2. We then have Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Again, two teams that only need 3 points really. Excellent 3 points for Newcastle against Manchester United. But it's those different kind of games. This one this week, again, it's going to be stuck in midfield. Again, two teams that are not going to want to go all guns blazing out. So, again, I'm going to go for a tight draw in this one. I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 1. Then we have Liverpool versus West Ham. Absolutely fantastic result for Liverpool against Porto, especially away from home as well. Find themselves with five away goals. They really are. Going to be some team next year, I think. I think that Jurgen Klopp has turned them into some great team at the moment. There's still that thing, where they have a great result against Porto and say they might struggle tomorrow against West Ham, or, they'd beat West Ham tomorrow, but then they'd struggle to another lesser side the week after. So there's still that, in them at the moment. But I think next year, like I said, I've said in this season of videos, I think I've said that Liverpool could be up there next year, and we could be talking about them having a potential title challenge. Maybe even winning it. They're looking really strong in parts. And I said if they could just get 1 or 2 more players. They bought Virgil van Dijk. If they could buy just 1 or 2 more players, I think Liverpool really could stay in a title challenge next year. So we'll see how that goes. As for the game tomorrow, again, it's at Anfield. You'd expect Liverpool to be far too strong for West Ham, and they're going to be buzzing the way they've just beaten Porto 5-0 as well. So I'm going to go Liverpool 2, West Ham 0. Then we have Brighton versus Swansea. Again, two teams. Maybe not Brighton as much, but definitely Swansea. That's in need of 3 points. But again, it's going to be one of the games that's stuck in midfield. Quite a few of those games this week, actually, that are stuck in midfield. So again, the same result. I'm going to go Brighton 1, Swansea 1. The same result for Burnley versus Southampton as well, because I think two teams like Burnley's another side found themselves starting off great at the start of the season. They've dipped in form a little bit. They don't need 3 points as much as Southampton, but I'm sure they'd like it being at home tomorrow. But again, I'm going to go for the same result for the same situation. Burnley 1, Southampton 1. 5:30, we have Watford versus Everton. And again, two teams that have started to get a little bit of form going. Again, it's going to be stuck in midfield a little bit. It is at Watford, but I'd expect Everton to be the slightly stronger side. And they've got the slightly better players. They've now got Walcott, who started to knock a couple of goals in. Rooney on the day, he can score a couple of goals as well. They've got quite a couple. Sigurdsson is his name as well. So there is players there. That can get Everton going and get them out of trouble. And to be fair, they are sitting 9th as well in the table. A lot of people argue that's only because the other teams around them have been doing quite badly. But you can't really knock that. Sam Allardyce has done quite a good job. Since what's his name, Ronald Koeman got sacked back in October, I think it was. So he's done a good job. To get them 9th. So we've got to give credit where it's due. So again, I think that Everton will be the stronger side for Watford. I'm going to go Watford 1, Everton 2. Sunday kickoffs now at 12 o'clock. We have Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. I don't think I've spoke to you since the North London derby. I don't think I have, because it was FA Cup last week. Spurs are absolutely fantastic against Arsenal. To be fair, they had a game plan, and Arsenal are so easy to beat. To be fair, but they were strong, they were solid. And basically they made Arsenal look like a bag of shit. Simple as that. The week before, they made Manchester United look like a bag of shit. So again, we could be sitting here with Tottenham as well. Yes, they find themselves fifth. I think it is fifth or fourth in the table. I think they're fourth now. So again, we could be sitting here next year like we was last year. You know how they had a bit of a title challenge. You know, okay, yes, I know it was 10 points in it, but you know they can get their act together. You know, we could be talking Liverpool and Tottenham. You know, Liverpool and Tottenham seem to be the only ones really that are really convincing me after Manchester City. Really, yes, I know that Manchester United sits second in the table, but they don't really convince me. You know, to be a title challenging side, they really don't. You know, because they're the same as Arsenal. They're so inconsistent. Chelsea's had a poor season this year. So the only two teams, and Liverpool's been quite inconsistent. So the only two teams really that have been quite consistent and that, you know, really convinced me that'll be, you know, title challenges next year is Liverpool and Tottenham. You know, and yeah, I know that it's a derby and Palace will put a bit of a fight, but you'd expect Tottenham to win this one. So I'm going to go Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 2. At 2:05, we have Manchester United versus Chelsea, and again, I think Jose is going to play his usual way of parking the bus and, you know, trying to get a result that way. I think Chelsea, they're going to be cautious as well. You know, they have not had the best of seasons this year, so they're not going to want to go all guns blazing out either. So again, for that result, I'm just going to go Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. Obviously, Arsenal and Manchester City are competing in the League Cup at 4 o'clock on Sunday. So they play at 7:45 on Thursday evening, and I think because of that, because they both would have had a cup game, I'm gonna go for a draw of that one as well. You know, with tired legs and that, and maybe a cup hangover. I'm gonna go Arsenal 1, Manchester City 1. So that's been my predictions for this weekend, guys, and I'll see you next week for next week's prediction. Thank you for watching, guys.